Hello, Ryan LaTourette.
Hello, Ken Heron.
So we're screwed again, right?
In this way, yeah, I think so.
Okay, because I've been going through the FAA shenanigans report, and, yep, looks like we're screwed. What have they done to us this time?
Well, there's two things that have happened. Recently, they've come out with the DETER program.
Is that a governmental acronym for something stupid?
Can you imagine? We want to deter everybody from flying. That's basically what it is. So they've come out with the DETER program, and basically it is allowing you to accept a lower penalty for a violation rather than put the FAA through all the rigmarole of a full investigation, saving them time and them money, right?
And that's what we want to do, right? We want to save them time and money.
Sure.
This is kind of taking the plea from the DA, isn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly what this is. It's a bribe. It's basically saying, I will plead guilty to this,
and we'll drop those
make
charges.
this all go away so that we don't have this prolonged thing. And the alternative is, if I don't plead guilty, we're going to throw the book at you.
Okay. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. What is this that they're doing? Because there's two things, right? There's the DiSCVR Tool, and then there's the DETER. Is that right?
There is. So I think most people aren't even aware of the DiSCVR Tool yet. But the DETER program was released this past week, where they're basically saying, hey, if you accept that initial offer that we're giving, maybe it's a $500 fine. We won't go through the full investigative process where inevitably you're going to get a $15,000 fine.
Okay, hold on. There's a lot of people watching this that have not heard of this at all. Pretend they're hearing it for the very first time. Because I just learned about this 5 minutes ago, and I'm livid.
Sure.
So, what are they doing? So they're trying to not do their job?
Well,
but they're going after people.
No,
they're going after violators. That's what they're doing, right?
They are going after violators. So this extends what we saw with the FAA, and it was basically with the Trump administration coming out with an executive order telling the FAA, you will change from an educational background to an enforcement background when it comes to UAS operations. So they went and said, look, no more of this, oh, we're sorry that you flew in a TFR, you didn't know about it, we'll slap your hand and you'll be off flying again.
Oh, so no more.
Don't do it again.
No more warnings and education.
No more warnings. So that executive order now shifted over to the FAA to say, you will, without a doubt, automatically go into enforcement, right? There's no education, you're just throwing the fine out. Now, the FAA took this one step further with this new DETER program, and they said, look, we as the FAA don't want to go through all this investigative process. There's a lot of back and forth, takes forever. If you plead guilty, or if you say, yes, I did this, you admit to your harms, then we'll give you this lower enforcement action dollar amount fine.
I see why they're doing it, okay? But at its heart, and this is why people need to know, who are they going after? Is it the people that accidentally fly too close to the airport, or are these people that don't get Lance approval, or what kind of violations are they going after?
Exactly. That's where the other program that I think almost nobody knows about is coming into play, and that's called the DiSCVR Tool. So the FAA came out with a DiSCVR Tool that basically is going through and it's saying, we have an ability to find out who you are, where you're flying, what you're flying. They have all that detail ready at hand. It's almost a counter UAS operation, right?
Is this they get this information from remote ID?
Some of it is from remote ID, yes. And others of it is from the Lance system. They're looking to see who's got Lance approvals, right? So they can tell this drone is flying. It is not registered. It has no Lance approval, and yet it's in Class B airspace. There's a problem. It's also seeing all the telemetry. So
what is seeing the telemetry? Who are they out in patrol planes? Are there secret vans? Like what is going on here? Because and obviously they're going to spend millions upon millions of dollars for the marketing rollout campaign to inform the public about this, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And of course, all the drone manufacturers are going to print this information right on the box for first time.
Absolutely, yeah.
That warning people that they need to be aware and follow all the rules, right? Right?
Yeah, wink, 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 right? No, so, and that's a challenge, is that people aren't aware that this is taking place. I think people have an understanding that at some point this would happen. They just weren't quite informed.
But where are they going to get informed other than on YouTubers' channels like this? Is it going to be part of the information that you get when you go to get your Part 107? Is it going to be on the trust test? Where is it going to be? They're just counting on word of mouth? That's it. One unlucky bastard gets this done to him, right? And then he's ticky-tocking everything, right? Is that what they're counting on?
Pretty much. Yeah, so they put out a big news release, and that was it.
Oh, they did put out a news release. To who?
They did.
To who?
Well, a news release goes out to anybody, right? They put it up on the FAA website. That's it.
And that's the end. It's on the FAA. Because everybody checks the FAA website.
Sure.
Quick aside.
On a daily basis, right?
Quick aside. This is just for the FAA. You.
Yeah.
Go yourself.
I think the challenge is, right, the FAA has a huge job. They can't be on every street corner, right, to take a look at every action that's taking place. They don't have that type of budget. But at the same token, are they going far enough? I can tell you that I've routinely talked to police officers, right, law enforcement agencies, and they're saying, hey, we don't get enough training from the FAA. We get things rolled out to us that are very ambiguous, and that makes their job harder. So they end up not doing anything, right? Or they use whatever type of interpretation that they had already had in place.
All the things that the FAA has done, this angers me the most because it's pretty apparent that they're trying to create a deterrent so that they don't have to do their job. If all we did was opt for the more expensive, the option that makes them have to do their job more, then this would stop. Right? Right? But everybody's going to take that other option, the easier option. This is the shittiest thing I've ever seen the FAA do.
Well, yes and no. So, I mean, when we look at the enforcement actions that have taken place so far, right, they've all come into being a less dollar value. So, take, for example, the guys that have flown at the stadiums for the NFL games, right? Oops, you're in a TFR, you did wrong. We're going to slap you with a fine.
Of course, yeah.
And when they've done that, right, what would you think the fine for that type of activity should be? Right? You're flying in a TFR. There's a violation. You've flown in airspace without Lance authorization.
Right.
That's a violation. If you're a hobbyist, a recreational flyer, you're automatically pushed over into 107, right? So now you've got a violation for not having Part 107 certification, not having your drone registered under Part 107, right? Careless and reckless, they're going to throw that out too. So now you're talking 5 different violations. How much is each violation?
A Pennsylvania man was ultimately charged for illegally flying the drone over the stadium and was forced to pay hefty fines.
Yeah, so each violation is $1,100. That's what they start at. They can go up from there, but $1,100. So if you've got 5, you're talking $5,500, right?
Yep.
how much have, there's been a couple people, one that flew at the Baltimore Ravens, another flew at Cincinnati Bengals. How much were their fines?
I don't know. How much?
Under $1,000.
Why? What happened?
Well, they've had a negotiation. It's been part of that. Okay, you did wrong. We understand that. We're going to correct you. Make sure you don't do it going forward. And so, and some of it has been lawyers involved with that, right? And so they get that fine down. But so I guess the FAA is now looking at it. Hey, look, rather than go through all the legal hassle with you having to get a lawyer, we're going to discuss this over the course of months. We're just going to allow you to say, yeah, I did wrong. I will make better of myself.
They're trying not to
load me with a penalty.
Gunk up the courts.
Well, yes and no, because they don't have a court, right?
Nor do they have an enforcement arm.
Well, they are the enforcement arm.
But they're not out on patrol. Right? I'm the only drone patrol.
Yeah. With car.
I have a car, yeah. Because the people that got caught and fined even $1,000, they're not going to do it again, do you think? Right? They're not going to do it again. That was a deterrent.
Correct. I think that is indeed the case.
Okay. So the people that accidentally fly too close to private property or something that's outside of a lance or controlled airspace, is that who they're going? Because there's a lot of people that are fringe flying, but they're trying to use common sense. I don't want to deter anybody from the hobby, but this seems a bit much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, probably a great example, right? FPV pilots. Well, FPV pilots, you're putting on the goggles. I suspect the vast majority of FPV pilots, they're going to the park. They don't have a buddy sitting next to them. They're just flying.
I always do.
Yeah.
I always have a visual observer.
Yeah.
So can they prosecute FPV people?
Well, absolutely. So that would be flying beyond visual line of sight, right? Or that you don't have
without direct line of
sight. Yeah, you don't have visual line of sight.
Can you fly FPV if you have a visual observer next to you?
Yes, you should be able to.
Okay. How many FISDOs we got out there? So the only time, and I've said this a lot to people who are worried, because there are people who are very worried about doing the right thing. They want to do the right thing. The only time you can get in trouble is if somebody reports you, as it is now. But we were talking before that they are going to start sending people out. Is that right?
Correct. And that it's not just sending people out. They have this new tool called the DiSCVR Tool. And the DiSCVR Tool is going to be able to pinpoint and track this information. You're going to show up on this application, so to speak, right? And it's going to say, here's so-and-so flying this particular thing, this ID. They don't have remote ID, or they're flying beyond visual line of sight. It can tell you that telemetry.
Okay, but where are they? Where is this something that's part of the national infrastructure, or is this out of a van, or is this on a personal device? Where are they scanning this from?
So right now, many of these are set up at airports, obviously.
Okay.
Your major airports are setting them up. Military bases are setting these up. And that's where we've seen it out in New Jersey right now. So I know of a group of guys, they have a New Jersey flying club. They go out every so often and fly. They've already been approached several times by folks coming off the military base that's nearby and saying, hey, look, we're able to see all this information. Can you show us who's which drone, right? It's like if the two of us were flying, two drones.
Yeah.
They don't know necessarily that, oh, you're Ken and I'm Ryan. They don't know that. They know that Ken and Ryan are flying, but now they've got to make that differentiation, right? So if you're flying 1,000 feet and I'm flying 20,000 feet, right? They want to come after me, but they need to know, oh yeah, that's the Ryan guy. I'm going to chase him.
I got it. I got a fix. So what you do is, if you're doing a Part 107 job, right, and you're worried you're going to get outside the lines, right, bring a patsy with you. And if the FSDO guy comes up, just hand the patsy the controller. And you're like,
Yeah.
he's flying. He's the pilot in command, but he's flying under my 107 if he's a hobbyist, right? So patsy can get in trouble. Scapegoat. Bring a scapegoat. Yes?
Except as 107, you are responsible.
I'm not the
pilot in charge.
I'm not the pilot in control. The PIC
No,
is the pilot in control.
You're the power. It's the remote pilot in charge, not just control.
This Yahoo, I just hired him. I don't know who this guy is with the controller.
No, I think what we're going to see is this gets rolled out to major police stations across the nation, right?
Yeah.
So a New York City, a Chicago, an Atlanta.
They're just going to come at us, or are they going to inform? Right? I mean, do you get a mulligan? If you don't know,
no, you
right?
don't get a mulligan. That's the whole point of the executive
That's unfair.
order.
That's unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Again, FAA. Am I blurring this out? I don't know. Am I?
don't know.
Ryan, should I blur this out?
I think it would still come through loud and clear.
Yeah, I think yeah. I don't know. This just seems all kind of. They're grasping at straws because remote ID is failing. Is it not?
Remote ID was broken the day that it passed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
And I think that's one of the other challenges is you have drones that don't need remote ID at all that are the same drones that do need remote ID if you're Part 107, right? So you're flying that Mini as a recreational flyer, you don't need Part 1 or you don't need remote ID. But fly as a Part 107, you're required to have it. So how does a law enforcement official make that delineation?
I don't think this is going to go anywhere, but this is what happens when you get lawyers involved in policy. And while the FAA doesn't have a great budget, they do have great lawyers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, bottom line this. I hate having you on. It's all doom and gloom all the time. I love you, Ryan, but can you bring some good news? Like, hey,
let me share with you this because I don't think most people know this either.
Okay.
And this might either share a doom and gloom scenario coming, or it might go, gosh, I'm glad we aren't there yet.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my water.
Yeah.
let me get a swig. Go ahead.
Okay, get ready for this. Beijing, China is where you can find all the DJI drones because DJI is in Beijing, right? Mm-hmm. Beijing is now disallowed the flying of drones, the sale of drones, the ownership of drones. What? Literally, you cannot buy a drone in Beijing any longer as of May 1st. You cannot fly in Beijing, the entire capital city. Right? You can't even own a drone in Beijing. So there are people in Beijing that they went out before May 1st, bought the drone. The shelves are clean in Beijing, and they went out and they put them in storage outside the city so that they would have ownership of a drone, and then they could go outside and fly.
I'm not familiar with. Where's Shenzhen? They have to test the drones somehow.
Shenzhen is outside of Beijing. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, but Beijing, that's China. That's your capital city. So that's basically Washington D.C. for us, right?
Right. That's their homegrown product.
That's right. And so imagine saying to anybody in Washington D.C., you can't buy, own, or fly a drone.
It doesn't make sense.
So far we have it good.
Yeah.
China, oh boy.
Okay. So, once again, to recap, we're fucked.
Sort of.
Roll credits.
I think it is a definite reminder that we need to be conscious of all the regulations, looking to fly in accordance with those regulations, and knowing that two things. One, people are going to have an eye on you with that DiSCVR tool. And two, if you do get caught, you got a tough choice. You either have to, sign off, you take the plea deal, so to speak, the bribe. I'm going to pay less. Otherwise, they're going to throw the book at you.
So if you do pay less, right? You take the easy way out, right? The easy. Does that go on? Is it like 3 strikes? Like if you get more than, because if you get a certain number of DUIs, then you're out too. Like was
in a way yes, and in a way no. So I think that's the other piece to consider. Fines by the FAA are civil enforcement. Civil, not criminal, right?
Right.
So a charge is not going on your permanent record someplace to keep you out of a job, right? That's a major thing if it were criminal.
Yeah.
The other is because it's a civil fine, the FAA can't garnish your wage, right? You don't pay that fine. Hey, I'm not paying that $1,000.
Oh, so it's like speed cameras. You don't have to pay it?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So,
will it affect your credit?
So it's a fine against you, right? It's held there.
Can they put a warrant out for you?
No, warrants are criminal.
Oh.
So it's a civil fine.
Okay. I'm with you. So now you get a civil fine from the government.
Mm-hmm.
And then in order for them to collect, they have to take it to court anyway. If you hold out.
Yes.
Civil disobedience. I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the downside?
We've seen that, right? We've seen that all before.
Yeah.
Do you remember Philly Mikey?
La 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 la.
So Philly Mikey was in that situation, right?
But that was all civil?
That was all civil. I think it was $185,000 fine, right?
That's a lot, yeah. So he just ignored
didn't pay it. Would you pay it? $185,000?
I wouldn't
just
want to. Well,
come on, just pull out the wallet.
If I didn't have to. Yeah, right, yeah. So he didn't pay it, and then what happened?
So he didn't pay it, right?
But they took away his drones forever.
No, that was not a problem.
Oh.
He didn't pay it. That wasn't a problem.
Is it? Oh.
But he kept flying.
Oh.
And he kept flying and doing the stuff that had caused the $185,000.
Government doesn't like spiteful.
Right. And he was one that he went on to his podcast or whatever and said, screw the FAA, right?
That's no good either. But okay. But so if it's just some dude in South Dakota, right? He gets dinged for flying out of. Does South Dakota have any professional teams? He's at a stadium. He's at a stadium. Do they? I don't even know. My apologies, South Dakota. But so he gets dinged for flying near a stadium or whatever. He gets that choice, the Sophie's choice for drone flyers, right? He's like, all right, I'll take the easy way out. Pays the fine, right? Or gets the fine.
Or selects the fine.
Selects the fine. And then just goes about his life without going online and taunting the FAA. Then is everything okay?
Technically, that civil fine stays out there, right?
Okay.
He still owes that civil fine.
Right.
But they can't come after him criminally. They can't garnish his wages.
Can they affect your credit?
It's sitting out there.
Your credit?
It shouldn't be affecting the credit because, again, it's a civil fine.
Okay. All right. Knowing the government. Okay. And I'm just imagining the hypothetical, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Say this happens to you. How much is the fine? Do you know? Like in a range?
It just depends on, what you're caught with. What
it doesn't have a comma in it. Probably, right?
Depends.
Okay.
So let's say you were flying in a TFR, right?
Yeah.
You ignored a TFR. You flew within a TFR.
Right.
I would suspect it's going to have a comma.
Okay, so I go to St. Louis and I power loop the arch, right? And they catch me, right? That'd be some great video.
Yeah.
And
National Park would come after you. Yeah.
And I ignore it. The government will probably spend that amount in postage, sending me reminder bills, right?
Probably.
Doesn't seem that efficient of a system, but there's a lot of people out there who will pay the camera tickets and will pay whatever, and that's what they're counting on, I guess.
What happens, right? You go to Nashville and you fly at the stadium, right? And you get that second one that's hitting. Right?
Then what happens?
At that point, are they going to go, oh, we'll let you plead this one at a lesser value? Yeah, maybe not.
Then I'm a habitual offender.
the habitual offender. And the other thing they would do is probably do just like they did with Philly Mikey. They would take you to court.
I don't envy their job, but I can't relate to somebody who's going to knock down our hobby all the time.
Well, and at the same point, I guess I look at it as, are people really doing nefarious things with drones? That's what we should be focused on, right? If they're really being nefarious about something, let's get them out of the skies. If
yes,
they're making
absolutely,
stupid decisions, I think, yes, you can educate. You could still try to educate. We try to do that as a community, right? We'll beat down somebody in the community who's making stupid decisions all the time and try to get them into the fold. And when they don't, okay, maybe you turn them in. Maybe you call that FSDO. Hey, let's have a conversation with this guy.
The problem is, Ryan, majority of the population don't fly drones. Believe it or not, the people that are watching this, we're like, yeah, we're all about drones. We know this and that and trust tests and all that stuff. But a majority of the citizens of the United States, their idea of drone, when they hear drone, is either it's a toy, or it's the person spying on the neighbor's daughter, or somebody in Ukraine strapped a bomb to it. There's a lot of negativity about drones right now. How many people are registered for to own a drone? Do you know? I don't even think it's not even 1 million people, right? That
no, I
have
think the last numbers I saw were like 800,000 or
yeah,
something.
It's not even a million. So we're not in the majority. They're not asking us anymore, right?
Yep.
Was there an NPRM on this?
There was not.
Mm-hmm. There was not. NPRM, for people that don't know, what does that stand for?
Notice of Proposed Rulemaking.
Yeah. And there was not. They're just like...
There was not. But there can't be, right? Because it's not a rule. So if it was going to be a new rule, a new regulation, it would have to go through NPRM.
It sounds kind of ruly to me.
Well, no, it's just saying here's what we're going to use to enforce the rules.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a policy, not a rule, I guess.
Yeah.
But if it walks like a rule and quacks like a rule, it's a duck.
What's interesting to me is that this was not provided in an advisory circular. That would make real sense, right, to go out to the community. When they did the newsroom press release, get it out to the major entities within the drone marketplace. They could have sent you something, Ken, right? You could have been the voice for the FAA and sent this out to all your viewers.
Yeah. Well,
there are some things that they could have done to publicize this a bit better.
Yeah, but I think they're counting on word of mouth from people that get dinged with this. That's what they're counting on.
Yeah.
I would love to be a fly on the wall, the meeting of the people, the group of lawyers. You know, they have to duck to get into the room because their horns will scrape the doorway. But, man, all right. Well, thanks for being on, Ryan. That's
sorry.
You got any good news?
No.
Nope. You got more bad news coming up next time?
I hope that it'll be turning into good news here soon.
You were giving me hints of something but it's not going to change this thing. It's not going to change the...
No.
How long do you think we'll have to deal with this DiSCVR stuff?
I would say at least through this administration.
Okay.
And then we'll see after that. So
all right.
That gives you, 3 more years?
Yeah.
2.5.
Okay.
Right.
Well, let that wash over you, everyone. If you care to leave a comment below, and I know you will. I know, Ryan, you read all the comments. I will read all the comments. We'll try to respond to them. Ryan is available. If you have any questions, I will put a way to contact Ryan in the description. And of course, if you would like to help Ryan by supporting him, because he's out there fighting. He's out there. I didn't know about this until he called me up and said, "Hey, Ken, we're fucked." He didn't say that. But so tell people where to go if they want to help you out with money.
Yeah, so the Free Funder campaign that we have is out there to help with the Legal Defense Fund. We are currently using that to fight against an ordinance in the state of Michigan. University of Michigan has a anti-drone policy that we're going after, and it's headed to the Court of Appeals here very soon. We filed in March.
Yep,
So
he's
any
trying to
help
set precedent
is appreciated.
anywhere that he can, and you can help him do that. Ryan, you're a good guy, and you're going to be at Minefield, maybe? Minefield 7.0?
I'm circling it on my calendar.
Okay, and for August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in Brownsville, Tennessee, you can fly anywhere and do anything. The whole city loves drones.
And I can say, having been there this past year for my first time, it was fantastic. Just a great location to get up around the structures, and great community of folks. We went out to lunch and dinner together, and just awesome.
It was awesome. And this year,
did a great job.
my mommy's coming.
Woo-hoo.
I'll be 60. And my mommy is coming. I know. I don't look 60, do I? Or do I? I do, don't I? I kind of do. Ryan LaTourette, thank you, sir. And is there anything you would like to say to the FAA yourself?
I will say that I'm in constant conversations with some of them. So,
Oh, okay. Well, let me put this disclaimer out there. My views do not necessarily reflect those of Ryan LaTourette. Until next time, and
bye.